Hey guys, welcome to our podcast. My name is LaTroya, but I go by Yaya.
Daniel. I go by Daniel, Dan, D, Danny, D Hart, Dart, any of the above. So
Today on our podcast, we'll just be going through life in general, especially life as a couple in 2024, the different trials, tribulations, just things that we go through in life. So yeah, that's basically what we'll be going through.
yeah. So how do you want to start? Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with how we met? Is that where you want to start?
Yeah,
All the way
I'd
at the
say
beginning.
let's start off about how we met, how we started, and how we got together.
Okay. So do you want it to your side first or my side first?
We'll go with your side first.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we met at Howard University. Both of us graduated from Howard. She graduated in 2019. I graduated in 2020. So she was a year ahead of me, obviously. And my freshman year, we were both athletes, right? I played soccer. She swam and she did lacrosse as well. But my freshman year, one of the things that we would do on the soccer team, especially with my friend group, we would just chill in the cab, just see all the shorties walking in, because we had the perfect seat. We had a perfect spot lined up where we could see the entrance, and then you could see them walk all the way across to the cafeteria line and everything like that, right?
I feel like that's just like a Howard thing.
That is kind of they kind of changed Blackburn, so it don't look the same as it did.
That's true.
But yeah, so we had the perfect spot right up against the wall, so we could see everything. And then I saw this little shorty walking in with red Harachis on. And then the upperclassmen on my team, they already knew who you were. You were already friends with some of them, Malik and all those guys. But I was like, yo, shorty over there looks kind of good. And then they were like, oh, yeah, that's Yaya, blah, blah, blah. Malik was telling me a story. You, choked him out one time. He was like, yo, she's strong as hell, blah, 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 right? I was like, from the jump, I was like, that's all me. That's gonna be my wife. My whole teammates were clowning me. They were like, yeah, I was like, yo, just wait on it, bro. I got a 3-year plan. Just wait on. I didn't have a plan, but I said I had a plan. And would you know it? 3 years later, when I was a junior, she was in her senior year. Your boy did the deed. All right, and that's why we're here.
Okay.
So you want to tell it from your side now?
So from my side, I was friends with a lot of Daniel's friends. I actually didn't know Daniel until his junior year, my senior year, at all, which was ironic because all of his friends were my friends. We would even be at the same parties in the same friend group and not even know he was there.
No,
I didn't know he was
knew.
there. He
I
probably knew.
I knew she was there.
But anyways, one night in Towers, all of our friend group were playing, or they were playing around. The boys were playing around shooting. Do you remember the Nerf
You're
gun?
going. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they were going around basically shooting people with Nerf guns.
Yeah,
and
we used to have a lot of Nerf
I was the first target. So they shot me up, whatever. I joined into the game with them, and they were like, Yaya, you should really text D-Hart. And they all knew that Daniel had liked me. So they were like, if you text him, I promise you he'll show up. And so I send D-Hart a text, and I'm like, hey, can I come up to your room to play video games or something like that? He was like, yeah, of course. Of course, he wasn't even in his room, so that was ironic because we were all standing in his room waiting for him to come. Also, most of the people would keep their doors open, their main door, outer
and
door
then
open.
It's an outer door to the common area,
Yeah.
common bathroom, common kitchen, and then there's two separate
and
bedrooms.
then your bedrooms would be locked. But so we're in the common area waiting for him to come. He comes up, and we just shoot him up. So this was basically one of the first times we interacted. I guess really in your room was the very first time.
Crazy.
But
Crazy.
he had a kickback in his room, and we met. So yeah, we really met actually in the car rides.
No. So you're all over the place.
I'm mixing all
You're
of them.
you're all over the
I
place.
am.
So the first time we met. Well, actually, so I'll go back. I remember the summer before that year, I followed you on Instagram, and you followed me back, and I was souped. I was going crazy. I remember telling Los and Dre. I showed them. I was like, yo, they were like, all right, bro, we'll see if your 3-year plan's coming into fruition. But
Oh man.
so then, yeah, during preseason, the first time we actually met face to face was we were driving up to
Yeah, because
Burr.
Chino had a car.
No, it was Carlos's car. Los was driving.
It was Los's car?
Yeah, Los drove it. Los drove us up to the thing. We were in the back seat. Got your little Snapchat. And then
That boy was souped. He got my Snapchat.
Game's the game. Got the snap, and then we were like friends after that. We would always there was either be kickbacks in my room, Tyler's room. We would go out or whatever, right? There was always something that we were doing. We were always hanging out. So yeah. And then that was the night that I got shot up, which was crazy. I was in my friend's room playing FIFA, and then I get a text from her saying, "Oh yeah, let me come up to your room so we can hang out." So in my mind, I'm like, well, let me go clean my room up a little bit because it's a little dirty. So I run. I'm like, we're in the middle of a game. I don't even finish the game. I'm like, yo, my man, I'm out. Dap him up. I leave. I basically run back to my room. And as soon as I open the door, I get shot at by like 5 of my teammates plus her, which is crazy.
Oh, man. What a time.
But then, yeah, so we were still friends at this point. We weren't actually like talking or dating or anything.
We didn't start talking or dating until one of my friends was like, yeah, D-Hart likes you or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I started talking to my friends. My friends were like, you should give him a chance. And I was like, should I? And they were like, yeah. So I basically, went off of what my friends said. And we went on a first date, which was...
So you're skipping stuff again.
I am skipping
stuff again.
What else do you want to say?
You're skipping stuff again. So you want to talk about your whole room drama?
Oh, well, if you want to know about my room drama, I was just trying to, fast forward. But basically...
if you want to skip that part, we can skip that part. But...
I mean, I don't mind.
All right, go ahead.
So, basically, I was in a room that was wicked small, and I was on the first floor, so I could go, outside from my room. It used to be a sliding door, but they locked it up so that it wasn't a sliding door no longer. But the handle was missing from the sliding door part. So basically any bugs or anything could come into my room.
Rats.
I was on the first floor.
Because
and
DC
I'm in
got
DC,
hella rats.
in the middle of the city. So that wasn't working out for me. So I basically was staying with my friends. I would stay in their rooms until I got a room switch. This is the beginning of the semester, so I was just waiting for me to possibly get a room switch. I would stay with 2 of my closest friends, Tiffany and Alea, and there would just happen to be one night that both of them, I couldn't stay with both of them. And Daniel, I was actually in Daniel's room because we started hanging out again, like he said.
No, we were all having kickback, so everybody was in my room.
But
yeah, everybody
we became friends because of those kickbacks.
Yeah.
So we're in his room and we're having a kickback in his room, and I was like, okay, where am I staying tonight since I can't stay with you or you? And then Daniel's like, well, you can stay here if you need to. So I happened to actually end up having to stay there because I had nowhere else, or I could have slept in my room with the rats, but I'm all set with that, or the roaches or whatever else was there.
Yeah, in P37.
P37. Remember them times? Sheesh. But then I ended up getting the room right next to him, with 2 of the other soccer girls who were on the soccer team at the time, who were my friends as well. They had a vacant room, so I moved into that room right side by side from him. And we basically, from that point on...
Thick as thieves.
Yeah.
Thick as thieves.
Basically been together since.
Mm-hmm.
We started hanging out more. We went on our first date, which was to the movies and to get burgers, and then...
Tasty Burger. Doesn't exist anymore.
Tasty Burger. Jeez, what a time.
Old Howard folks, y'all remember Tasty Burger. But they shut down due to some unfortunate circumstances, but...
Mice. Rats.
Unfortunate.
Bugs.
Unfortunate. But the food was fire. But before that, the food was fire. You can't deny that the burgers
Before they had any infestations, it was good.
But yeah, so that's how we met. We met at Howard young. I was 19. She was 21.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think you were 21. I was 19 turning 20. I was about to be 20 in like a month. And then you were 21 because your birthday's in the summer. So you had just turned 21 right before the semester.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next? What do you want to talk about? Where do you want this conversation to go from here?
Basically, let's just talk about how our relationship has been. I know a lot of people don't know us if you don't know us from Howard or
Or at all.
At
This is your
all.
first time even ever just seeing us.
So basically, we've had an interesting relationship. We've basically been apart most of our relationship, which maybe we should highlight that. So Daniel actually went away to play soccer, both in Germany and Spain. We also had COVID, so that also played a role in us being apart. COVID was actually first before you went away. So that played a big role in us being apart, and it made it a little bit challenging in our relationship. We had some challenges. It was very hard, being apart for long periods of time. I mean, like 6+ months of just like not seeing each other.
Yeah, it was rough.
It
Very
was
rough,
rough.
especially during COVID because, well, actually, no, all of it sucked. I was gonna say especially during COVID, just because, like, we were in the same country and you weren't doing anything and I wasn't doing anything, so we could have seen each other, but we really couldn't because of like traveling and all that stuff.
Yeah, traveling was not fun. And I think you had a little bit more strict
And my mom
rules.
was real strict.
Yeah.
My mom was. We used to get the groceries. You get the 2 wipes to wipe everything down. Everything. It was crazy. And my
no
mom.
one knew though. At that time, no one knew what COVID really entailed.
Yeah, it turned out to be not as bad as we thought it was going to be, but yeah, it was rough for a little bit. And then so I went to Spain playing soccer. I went to Germany after that, and then even after I came back, I was still chasing contracts here. I went to Cali for a bit on trial.
A lot.
I went a bunch of places on trial. Trialed with Loudon a bit, and then we've really been apart for longer than we have been together during our relationship. We've been together almost coming up on 6 years. So 5.5 years coming up on 6 years. So at least 3.5 to 4 of those years, we were doing long distance.
But I think it also was hard because you were pursuing soccer, but I also was so focused on school, and I also was still a swimmer. So for those of you guys who don't know, I compete on a national team. I am a swimmer for Cape Verde Islands.
Boop, boop, boop.
So it was a little bit difficult because even if he was home, there were trips that I have to take, that I have to do for my country. I go to African Championships, Worlds. I mean, I've been to the Olympics. So there was a lot going on, and I think that required us just to be separate at the time. But I think what I will ask you from a male's perspective is during that time, what helped you to know that we would still be a good couple? During those
what helped us to know that we'd be a good couple?
What helped you especially? Like, what helped you be like, okay, I know Yaya is my person and I want to stay with Yaya, even though I don't get to see her for...
Well, so I told you this when I asked you to be my girlfriend originally. I said that I'm dating for marriage. I'm not just dating you. I don't want to just date you because, oh, you're cute and let's see what happened. Like I told you, like, you're basically, for lack of a better way of explaining it, you're trying out to be my wife, basically. Like this whole thing has been a try, and I'm also trying out to be your husband.
I was on
to
trial.
You're still on trial, and so am I. You can cancel the trial at any point.
No, that's true.
And neither of us have opted to do that. We've gotten close, but neither of us have opted to do that. But yeah, that's from the jump. I knew going into it that I wanted you to be my wife eventually. Yeah. So day to day, I'm gonna hate you. You're gonna hate me. Not hate. You're gonna be mad at me. I'm gonna be mad at you. You're gonna annoy me and piss me off. But it's still, I'm in it. I signed the contract, even though we didn't actually sign a contract. But
every couple has its ups and downs.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, it's whether or not you guys want to work through those situations.
And I think I also come from a very fortunate background where my parents were high school sweethearts, and I saw love growing up, and like they fight. You live with them for the past couple years, and they fight, they argue. They'll be like, Daniel, settle this argument. I'm staying out of this. But like
Me too. I stayed out of every single one.
But at the end of the day, they still
love each other.
They still love each other. They still sleep in the same bed every night. They try not to go to bed angry. They try to work through all of their issues. Like they put the relationship above either of their egos.
And I think seeing love is the biggest thing. Like I know my parents, they might not have been married, but I know my parents loved each other all the way up until the end, until my dad passed. But I think seeing that also is something that you want, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, so for me, it was always like, that was just natural. You know what I mean? Like because it's kind of weird, because I imagine kids of all backgrounds, whatever your family situation is, you think that's how family is until you interact with other people and you realize that it's not everybody has the same family life.
Type of family.
You know what I mean? I imagine that, this might be a weird example, but I imagine like a kid being raised by two moms. They're just like, oh, everybody has two moms. You know what I mean? Until they interact with other kids and see that, oh, wait, like you just have one mom, or you just have one dad, or you have a mom and a dad, or you have two dads. You know what I mean? Like you think your situation, whatever the dynamic you grow up in, you think that's the quote unquote normal dynamic until you interact with other people.
So you have social interactions.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was very fortunate. Shout out to my parents. It's also Father's Day, by the way. So
shout out to
all the fathers out there. Young, old, middle-aged.
Don't matter.
Don't matter. Shout out to all of you guys. But yeah, so I think I was really fortunate to have a good example growing up.
Yeah, I agree. I think they teach us a lot. You know, I've had the opportunity of actually living with his parents, like he said. So I see them together all the time. I mean.
So let me ask you the same question. Why, during all of the hard parts of us being separated and all this other stuff, why did you continue? What made you sure that I'm your person? Or what makes you think that I'm your person?
I think knowing that we can grow together is my biggest thing. I think you push me a lot in different areas, and I kind of enjoy that. For instance, if I'm slacking on something, like my schoolwork. So a big thing is I'm actually studying right now, hopefully.
Talking to the mic.
To go on and become a doctor. And I think that the biggest thing is that you are willing to push me to be successful. So it's like, okay, here's your study time. Lock in. Like, if I'm not locked in, you will tell me, yo, it's time to lock in. Like, what are you doing? Why are you touching your phone? Why are you distracting yourself?
Or distracting me.
Or distracting you. But I also think that there is an equal amount of push and pull. So as much as you help me, I think that I have something to give to you as well, in terms of whatever that might be, knowledge, or I push you to an extent as well. And I think that that's what makes us the couple that we are, is that we push each other to be great, whatever that level of greatness might be, or whatever we're trying to basically achieve at that moment.
I agree. I mean, just the reason why we're even here in Austin, Texas is I didn't want to come. So for background, the reason I actually ended up moving out to Austin, Texas is that started working at Oracle, started off remotely, and then they didn't mandate it, but they were like, hey, you guys should be moving to Austin. And I was like, yeah, that's stupid. I don't want to move. I'm going to stay remote. Or I'll find another job. And then you were like, no, what's wrong with moving? Like, just go. Just go to Austin. And so I didn't really want to, because, again, this is just off of the back of me playing soccer in Spain, playing soccer in Germany, coming back, bouncing around from club to club, trying to get a contract here. And then I decided to get a job. And then I had another job before this, which sucked. It was just the cold calling thing. I hated that job. That job sucked.
That was a rough job.
I ended up getting fired because I did
not like that job.
I didn't care. I was actually relieved when I got fired. But the next job after that was this job that I have now at Oracle, which it was a great job, great opportunity. But when they wanted us to move here, I was like, well, damn, I might have to find another job. I've only been here for like 6 months, but I might have to find another job.
Was that partly because I was in DC, or was it because everything was in DC? Probably everything.
I'll say 70-30.
70-30?
70 you, 30 everything was in DC. Because I'm not against. I went to Spain. I went to Germany. I'm fine leaving my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I'm fine leaving my family. I'm fine because I still have them. I can still talk to them. I can still, you know what I mean?
Interact.
I can still interact with them. But I haven't been with you. I haven't seen you. You know what I mean? And this was our chance to start like living together. I mean, in my parents' house, but this was our chance to start like building something and moving forward. But here I am. I have to move away again, and it's been 2 years now, and you're finally in this place where you can start trying to get yourself down here, so we can try to like start living together and moving forward. But at the time, I was like, I didn't really want to. But I say that all to say you're the one that convinced me to take the opportunity and just why not move to Austin? You and my mom. My mom convinced me as well. Yeah, but I feel like you probably tried to help get her to convince me to come out here. But yeah.
Me and your mom talked a lot about that. Just because it was an opportunity. Like, I think that you have to have somebody who has your back and knows that whether it was you and I that worked out or not, at the end of the day, you have to grow as an individual. And I still had some growing to do in the place that I was at as a student. I still was in school. It wasn't like I could just up and leave because then I'm leaving my education behind.
Yeah.
So I think for both of us, it worked out perfectly. It was a way of me to be able to focus on my PhD, which I'm currently in, and for you to still go on and have your career in your, in that path, in your computer science field. So I think again, like I said, pushing each other and knowing that we are helping each other in some sort of way.
Sorry, I just burped. I'm distracted. But yeah, no, I agree.
I think that's what made me really push through the harder times, because I knew in the end, you only have the best. You only want the best for me, and I only want the best for you. Mm. I think we have enough love for each other for that sense of things. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's basically what I would say for there.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Do you like Austin?
So far, it's been good. It's been a little bit of a struggle moving here. We're only in a two-bedroom apartment. But we're in a two-bedroom.
We have a roommate.
Yeah, with his roommate currently. Yeah. So the situation is a little bit harder, but I'm not opposed to it for right now while we are looking for another place. Hopefully we can afford a home. As you guys know, in this day and age, affording a home is not easy.
Crazy.
I don't know.
Crazy.
19.
I don't know how the next generation is going to do
it. Our generation is
struggling.
It's hard. It's so hard.
We're not immune to it. We're not immune to it.
What our parents had versus what we can get with the same type of money our parents grew up with is totally different.
Even more.
Yeah, even with more.
Even with more money than our parents made, we can get less house.
It's true.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, we've been struggling right now with the whole house searching thing.
House searching is not fun. There's so many things you got to learn, so much stuff you have to. I mean, I was decently knowledgeable about real estate going into it, but there's still a lot of stuff that goes into it.
He's more knowledgeable than I am. So this was like a big learning curve for me. I think it's more of a learning curve for me than it is for you, but I think it's just because you also like to study up on those types of things.
Yeah, I like watching videos about it. I like learning about the different markets because I was big into finance. I was a day trader for a while. I invest a lot. So tangential to that is real estate, right? Real estate is just another market. So learned a lot about real estate. I'm a member of a few real estate communities as well. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were pretty knowledgeable on that stuff. I mean, hopefully, we've done a few things. We've put in bids at homes, at a home actually,
a
to
home.
be very
A home,
specific.
yeah.
A home. It's a learning curve. It's nerve wracking. Doing all of that, getting pre-qualified, all of that is a little nerve wracking. Honestly, you get very nervous when it comes.
You got
to
to
time.
shop around, get the best rates. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot, but I think it's helping us grow, and it's something that we know we both want. So I think that hopefully in the near future, that's something that we will be able to have.
So, let's switch up the tempo a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Give me one thing that I do that pisses you off the most. Or bothers you the most.
Oh,
Maybe
can I
not
be
pisses you off.
completely honest?
Please do.
Okay. What a little bit irritates me is he will go into the restroom just to hang out in the restroom. I like literally just to hang out in there. I am convinced. Like it'll be like 30 minutes go by and you're just like, "Hey, are you good?" "Yeah."
I'm playing chess.
Sometimes that irritates me a little bit.
Why? You'd rather I spend that 30 minutes next to you?
No, it's not being next to me. It's just like, why are you just sitting there doing nothing?
Why is this something that you think about? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? What I do in the bathroom is between me and
In the
Jesus.
bathroom?
Me and Jesus.
Oh, you and Jesus.
Only me and Jesus
okay,
know what's
love
going
that.
on. Why does it matter?
I have no clue. It just is like time is ticking and there's so much more productive things that you can
I'm
get
relaxing. I'm relaxing.
done. And
That's my unwind time.
I guess. Okay.
That's your answer? That's the answer you're going with?
I think that's the answer I'm going to go with.
That's the number one thing that annoys you about me?
Let me
The
see.
fact that I stay in the bathroom for like 30 minutes.
No, there's other things that annoy me. I got to think on them though. What's the biggest thing that I do that annoys you?
You never dry anything. Your hair, when you come out the shower, is wet, and then you'll come give me a hug, or you'll get into bed, and then the pillow's wet. You'll just leave water on the floor in the bathroom, and then
Maybe
I got
that
socks
just
on. I walk in
attributes to like
It
swimming.
has nothing to do with swimming. That has nothing to do with swimming. When you get out I've been
When
to
you
the
get out
swimming
the
pool.
swimming
You get out the
pool,
swimming
you just
pool.
put the towel on
you dry.
and you keep going.
That's the problem. You're not at the swimming pool. You're in the crib.
I
All
know.
right? You're in the crib. Please dry some stuff. That
Something
pisses
that
me off to
needs
no
to-
end. Because
Wow.
I'm wearing socks. I wear socks all the time.
I don't.
I walk into the bathroom and now my socks are wet.
That sounds like a you problem.
No, just clean up the water. Dry your hair. Dry your skin. Dry something, please.
I dry my skin, my hair,
Barely.
know.
Barely.
I have a lot of hair. It's a lot to deal with. Drying it
Yeah,
off
so that's my
is-
number one thing.
Oh, really?
The water.
The
Yeah,
water?
100% the water.
Oh, okay.
That pisses me off to no
We'll
end.
make sure that I try to make that better.
And actually, no, there's another one.
What?
There's another one. There's another one. And
Do you hear this?
you love using my brush. And I tell you this one all the
I
time.
don't love to use his brush. To be honest with you, I just moved to Austin, and I didn't bring a brush here.
There's a Walgreens across the street.
Well, I need to get a brush.
I will buy you a brush.
Okay. Buy me a brush, and then we're
Please
good.
stop using my brush. Because I hate using my brush, and then there's hair in it. Like, I'll brush the side of my head or on my beard or something, and now I just have a curly hair on the thing. And now my face is itchy because the hair is just, no. No, I hate it. It pisses me off
I'm
so
sorry.
much.
Well,
So that's two things.
I don't have a brush here right now, but we'll make sure we pick one up.
I will
on the
buy
way
you a brush.
home.
I will buy you a brush.
Okay.
On the way home today, I will buy
On the
you
way
a brush.
home. All right. Sounds
I'll
like
buy
a
you a
plan.
brush. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
And then we got to get a plant thing.
We do need a plant. We do need a plant
But yeah,
to furnish the apartment a little bit. Oh, I bought her flowers yesterday.
he did.
I bought her some flowers yesterday.
Honestly, I think that's one of the first. He bought me ones before, but this is one of his first that was very spontaneous. Honestly, there was no reason for him to buy me flowers. He just bought flowers.
So
It was very
Yes.
nice.
So you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Should I give you more flowers in the future? Okay, so that's the reason right there that I have not gotten her flowers in the past. So I think in college, for like Valentine's Day or something, I think I got her like a rose, and that shit died almost immediately.
I'm not the best.
Florist?
Yeah. That's how I would say. I'm not the best florist. I think
Terrible.
my plants would mostly die.
Terrible.
So I avoid flowers.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten them for her forever. And then every time I'll like go to her friends for like gift ideas, they're like, "Oh yeah, you should get flowers."
I mean, it was a very nice gesture. I did like it a lot.
They're gonna die. They're gonna die. But if you like flowers, I'll get you more flowers. That is a gift I have consciously not given you because I gave you one and it died.
And it died instantly.
Immediately.
And I was kind of, but I've also expressed my.
You've also told me that you don't like love flowers. Like you don't.
Yeah,
You
I've
could
expressed.
You could care less about flowers.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice gesture every so often, maybe, but not to be like every occasion. Oh, today's Valentine's Day. Here you go. Oh, today's your birthday. Here you go. Like, then I'm just gonna get sick of
flowers.
Flowers, and honestly, they're probably gonna die every single time.
Good to know. Good to know.
I don't know.
Anything else you want to say?
Do you want to go into any other dynamics of our?
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that.
Our life, like anything else?
What else is going on in our lives? You're studying for the MCAT. I am an entrepreneur trying to build businesses also.
Oh, let's talk. Actually, I know what we can talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, right now, Daniel is really pushing for this entrepreneurship, which I love. I love it. 110%. But as a couple, sometimes it causes us to have a little bit of
friction.
Yeah, we'll say friction. That's a good way of putting it. I would say like mini arguments. They're not really like big arguments because they're kind of like pointless.
I mean, yeah.
But it will cause a little bit of like disruption in our relationship. So like for instance, we even had a full conversation about it actually this week. Talking about how time management is a thing. And he actually sent me this video that talks about there's two different types of people. One is more like, I forget what it said. Honestly, it's
the manager schedule.
Schedule.
And the maker schedule. It's managers versus makers.
Yeah.
So this was from a blog post that I think from like 10 years ago, but I was introduced to it. I was introduced to it by a guy named Alex Hormozy. Big fan of Alex Hormozy. If some of you guys may have heard of him, some maybe not. He's like a super big name in the entrepreneurship space and business space. And he basically came up with this video about how there are two types of people. There's managers and makers. Managers, they get the most out of their schedule, or they feel the most productive when they have meetings going on. So when their meetings are done for the day, they're done for the day. But makers who are people who like create something, like they could be content creators, editors, developer, anybody who is making something from nothing or making something that didn't exist before. That didn't exist prior is a maker, right? And their schedules are much different than manager schedules because they require extended periods of time where they get into like deep work and like basically flow state. And one little meeting in the middle of that can just completely disrupt that. So let's say I start working on this project at like 9 a.m., right? And I'm coding something, or I'm building a system, or I'm editing a video, or whatever I'm doing. If I'm in the zone or in flow state or whatever, that whole project might take me maybe 4 hours start to finish. This is just an example. It might take me 4 hours start to finish. But if an hour and a half into it, I get interrupted by anything, then it's not just that interruption. It takes me still time to get my mind back into the place where I need to keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we were kind of debating earlier this week. That
we were debating.
I felt
I'm a little bit more like, here's my schedule, and I will finish at the end of my schedule.
Yeah, I'm not like that.
And
I'm not
for
like
him, he's more like, free flowing. I guess it's more of like you can kind of say it's free flowing.
I guess.
For lack of term, I guess. Because it might take you 4 hours, it might take you 10 hours, you know? Who knows how long it's going to take you. But what I will say is, I think as a couple, those are things that, for those of you guys who have people who are interested in getting into entrepreneurship or interested in growing in that type of field, where it's a field where they're building their own thing from scratch, whether it's video, content creating, whatever that might be, I think working together as a couple, because we did come up with some solutions to make sure that, you know, the other person is still being seen, because I felt like he was doing work when I was done with my work. And it was like, well, what were you doing when I was doing work for however many hours? But I also had to come to the conclusion that sometimes I did interrupt him during his work. So there was also a fault on me as the individual, because it's like, okay, I can't interrupt his flow either. If it's going to take him 4 hours, I need to give him that 4 hours, which is something that I'm still working on because I'm not the best at it.
Yeah, she loves calling me all the time. But I will say, it is also, you made a good point.
Being conscious of it could also help.
You made a good point to me as well, that I'm aware of it as well. I do sometimes waste time on my phone. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be in the middle of the workday, and then I'll maybe pick up my phone for like a legitimate reason, like I'm signing into something, and then it sends me a text or whatever, and then I go to my phone, and then I'll see like a message or a notification, and I'm just like, oh, well, what's that? And then I'll look at that, and then 15 minutes later, I'm just scrolling. So, like,
for a while.
So
then
that does happen.
I also
agree.
said most of the time when I do go to interrupt him, for me, I see him on his phone, and it's like, well, you've been sitting on your phone for 15 minutes, and then when I say something to you, it's like, well, can't you see, like, I'm busy?
But I will say, not every time that I'm on my phone am I being distracted. Like, sometimes I am actually doing work on my phone.
Yeah.
But I understand that from your perspective, you don't know what I'm doing on my phone.
I don't actually know what you're doing.
So you don't know if I'm being productive or unproductive. You kind of just have to.
I don't know if you're playing chess
I could be playing chess, or I could be
something else.
Talking business. You don't know. So I understand that from your perspective. So you're just like, well, he's not doing anything, so can you help me do this, or can you do or something? So I get that, but we're working on it. We're still not there yet.
We're getting there.
We had this conversation earlier this week, so this is week 1 of us testing out our new stuff.
We'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, we'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully it goes better. If not, we'll find another solution.
Yeah. But this really concludes what we want to talk about for now. In the comment section, if you guys could leave some comments about things that you guys want to know more about. Also, ask us questions, different questions.
Do that. Also, we have no name for this podcast yet. So if you have any ideas on what we should name this thing, drop them in the comments below, because we have no clue.
Yeah, we tried, but...
All of our ideas sucked.
Can't figure it out.
I didn't like any of our ideas. So yeah. Thanks for watching. All of our information will be in the description below. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Comment down below, as we said. Follow our social medias. So, her social media, her Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff will be in the description below. So will mine. My other YouTube channel will also be in the description below. So any entrepreneurs, business owners, tech people interested in AI or just entrepreneurship in general, hop over there.
And ask us questions. Even ask about the entrepreneurship or how he got into entrepreneurship. Those are things that he'll be able to answer more. I more am on the athletic side, academic side. So if there are questions that people have. Yeah,
we didn't even talk about that. Yeah, she's finishing her PhD in biology with a focus in neuroscience, right? So there's that. And she's also studying currently she's studying for her MCAT so she can be a doctor. And what kind of doctor do you want to be?
I have a few options, but hopefully anesthesiology or OB-GYN. Those are like my two, but we'll see.
But yeah, so ask us any questions about either of those topics. And yeah, thanks for watching.